This is about the various pandemics which have been taking place in the influenza, and latest we had in 2009 and 10. We all have suffered with the agony of our patients and agony of the doctors also, who have been involved in treating the influenza at that time, of catching the infection and delivering healthcare in a very limited system which we are having in our country. Now, clinical presentation is very simple, all you know about. It's all very often you will listen by common man that he is having viral. So I think that whatever viral is described by a general physician and general doctor is nothing but the influenza, and the common symptoms you all know about. All these are with almost all the virals are having this influenza plus other virals who are involving the upper and lower respiratory tract. But this time we were bothered by this complication, pneumonia, leading because of the swine flu, and then later on with the complicating bacterial pneumonia that created a havoc in the society, and we lost many of our patients who had pneumonia and those who came to us in a very late stage. And then second point, why we were involved, that in most of the asthma and COPD patients when this took place, because whenever there is influenza, it increases the severity of the exacerbations of the asthma and COPD, and then it leads to decrease in the lung function. So with every exacerbation, the quality of the life of the patient is suffering. And that's why we came in picture for the influenza, and that's why I thought that I should accept the invitation for speaking on this topic. So there is nothing new in the clinical picture and diagnosis. I will not go into the details. I will directly come over the prevention, because for every viral illness, treatment is hardly, we don't have much of the armamentarium for the basic treatment. But I think prevention is better for all the viral illnesses and influenza also. So before we come to the prevention strategies, just to make you aware of the virus structure which is responsible for influenza, there are three antigens which are at the surface of the virus: H antigen, N antigen, and M1 antigen. And most of the viruses are detected, or nomenclature is by the H and N surface antigen, which are glycogen, which are at the surface of the virus, and the DNA is genetic material is inside the virus. So these are the three antigens which can be utilized for making the prevention strategies and vaccines. Now, there are three types of viruses, all of you know, but just to make you recapitulate, that virus A is the most dangerous, which is responsible for most of the pandemics. Virus B is little bit moderate, and virus C is the mildest form of the influenza virus. And this A type of virus is mostly affecting the humans, but it can also affect the animals and birds. While type B virus and type C viruses, these are commonly involving only the human ones. So it is the A virus which is creating most of the time havocs and having different types of, on the basis of the H and N antigen structure, it is classified into various names. B virus is milder virus, it infects humans only, and C only infects humans, and it is the mildest virus. So these are the three viruses which are creating all these problems, and the prevention strategy is to be based on these three viruses. Now, among the various preventive strategies which are available to us at present, vaccination. Now, once the epidemic is there, then comes in the picture is the hand hygiene, surgical mask or N95 mask, isolation of the patients, hemoprophylaxis, use of high efficiency particulate air filters, and sometimes winter school breaks are to be done whenever there is epidemics of the influenza. But out of these all strategies, I think vaccination is the main thing which should be encouraged so that we can reduce the load of the disease in the community and transmission of the disease in the community. So I think, in my opinion, this is the thing which has to be given much of the weightage. So vaccine is the main thing for the prevention, and the journey of the vaccine started with the isolation of the type A virus in 1933. And after that, monovalent vaccine was prepared in 1938. Monovalent means one strain of virus was there in that vaccine. Then in 1940, B type of virus was isolated. And after the discovery of the B virus, then bivalent vaccine was developed in 1942. Bivalent was for two strains of the virus. And then in 1978, it was the complete vaccine was available, that is trivalent, which is still being continued. That is two strains of the A virus and one strain of the B virus. No vaccine is available with this type C virus because type C is very mild, so it does not create much problem. And that's why in 1978, the complete trivalent vaccine was made. Then there was a revolution in the technology also. Initially we had egg-based vaccines only. Then later on, then it was the cell culture vaccines were made available, and now insect cell culture vaccines are also being available. So these are the various technologies to develop the vaccines which are available to us. So the various technologies, as I already mentioned you, are egg-based, cell culture-based, insect cell culture-based, and now recently one technique which has been launched is recombinant cell culture using virus-like particles. So I think this vaccine is going to be again a very good advancement in the types of the influenza vaccine, where its effectivity will be good and its safety will be very high. So this I'll focus on this last technology, because you all know about egg-based and cell culture and all these. But this is the new technology which is being developed, and vaccines are now prepared on this technology. This is the virus-like particle technology. Actually, this is a subunit type of vaccine. There are three kinds of vaccine I will discuss later on. Inactivated vaccine and live attenuated. And inactivated vaccines are again three types: whole virus, split vaccines, and subunit vaccine. So this is a type of subunit vaccine where the antigens are separated from the virus, and then these antigens are recombined with the another virus, and then the vaccines are being prepared. So here the nano-sized particles are prepared from the antigens, and these antigens are then developed into the vaccine. And this technology has been very well established for the preparation of hepatitis B and HPV vaccines, and it is already in the market. But for influenza, these vaccines are not in the market, these are being prepared. Now what they do in this technology, that genetic sequence, the antigens which H1 and N1 antigens are selected from the virus, and these genes are cloned into the baculovirus, another virus. And when these are cloned in the baculovirus, then these baculovirus, they infect the insect cells. And when they infect the insect cells, then the various antigens are purified from this cell, and then they are purified and concentrated, and then the vaccine is formed. So though it is a complex process, but the antigenicity is very good, and safety will be much more in comparison to the other vaccines. So these are the various steps for preparation of the VLP-like technology leading to the vaccine formation. Now, when we compare the VLP particle finally prepared from this technology as compared to the parent virus, the antigenic structure remains intact. That is H1 and N1 spikes and M1. That is intact, but the genome genetic material is disrupted in this. So the advantage of this VLP-like particle, virus-like particle is that we are having the antigenic structure intact, but the genetic material is disrupted, so it is not infectious. So that is the advantage of this technology. So the salient features of this vaccine which have come out, that this will be the first recombinant trivalent vaccine which will be used for influenza, and studies have been on. The studies are going on for this virus-like VLP vaccine, and the humoral response is very good, and effectivity, seroprotection is as good as the other vaccines. But studies are going on. Its safety has been well established because there is no egg-based. These are not egg-based. So the chances of allergy will be less, because most of the allergies in influenza vaccine are not because of the virus or because of the antigens. It is because of the egg particles or egg material which is used as a base for the development of the vaccines, and it is very well tolerated. So these are the conclusions from the few studies which were in the literature I have gone through, and still the studies are going on. Now these are the strains which are currently approved by the WHO for the preparation of the various types of vaccines. Trivalent inactivated vaccines for 2015 and 16, the WHO has recommended these three strains. Till 14 the strains were different, but for 15 and 16 these are the strains which have been approved by the WHO for trivalent vaccine. Quadrivalent vaccine is only available in Russia, it is not available in the rest of the world. So where one more strain is added, the virus, the type of virus, but this is not available in our country. In our country we are having trivalent vaccines only, where two viruses composed of A virus and one virus is type B virus is available in those vaccines. So at present in Indian market, we are having two types of vaccines, live attenuated influenza virus vaccine and inactivated influenza virus. These are tri-flu vaccines where we are having two A-type virus, H1N1 and H3N2, and one virus is called type B. Now, these inactivated vaccines can be given after the age of 6 months to any age. Less than 6 months age, influenza vaccination is not recommended. And there are three types of inactivated vaccines, as I already told you: whole virus, split product, and subunit surface antigen formulations. At present, we are having in the Indian market, there are 3 or 4 vaccines which are either whole virus or split virus type. But subunit type of vaccine is not available, and whatever I have discussed in VLP technology will be a subunit type of virus, so a vaccine where only the antigenic material is being purified from the virus-like particles and it is concentrated, and then it is developed into the vaccine. So these are the vaccines available in our country. One more vaccine which is available in our country is live attenuated vaccine, but it is not recommended below 2 years of age. So it has to be given after 2 years of age. 6 months to 2 years we should not give this. This vaccine is available as a nasal spray, and this is containing live attenuated vaccine. So in our market we are having inactivated vaccines also and live attenuated trivalent vaccines also. Now, just to discuss the recommendations of the various bodies for the influenza vaccination. the CDC recommends that all the persons above the age of 6 months, they should be vaccinated with influenza vaccine because it is a very common disorder affecting a large number of population, and particularly in children, the incidence and prevalence of influenza is up to the extent of 25 to 30%. In adults, it is less. So they recommend that all the persons should be vaccinated. But WHO has given certain categories. They say that not all, if the resources are limited, then it may not be possible to vaccinate all the population above the age of 6 months. So they have given that all the persons who are above the 65 years of age, all pregnant women, all patients with chronic diseases like asthma, COPD, and then again diseases where the immunity is low. In all these situations, they should be vaccinated with the influenza vaccine. Then again, the WHO has also highlighted that those persons who are caregivers, either health caregivers or caregivers to the infants, they should be immunized, because for infants the recommendation is that the vaccination should not be given till the age of 6 months. So it is better that pregnant ladies are vaccinated so that the infant is having immunity through mother. And the persons who are taking care, who are nursing them, they should be protected. They should not suffer from influenza so that they can transmit the disease. So this is one of the recommendations of the WHO. Then in our Indian setup, the recommendations are no universal recommendation is there, but and it is not included in our universal immunization program. But various societies has given. For Geriatric Society says that all the elderly persons above the age of 65 years should be vaccinated. Then Gynae and Obstetric Association says that all the pregnant ladies beyond 26 weeks, they should be vaccinated. Then the government recommendation is that all the healthcare providers, they should be vaccinated. And Pediatric Academy recommends that all the children above the age of 6 months with risk factors, which I have already enumerated, they should be vaccinated. But the second recommendation of IAP is that if any parent is requesting for vaccination to the child over the age of 6 months, we should support that. We should not say no, it is not to be given. All the children above the age of 6 months should be vaccinated. So these are the various recommendations which are there from the different societies in our country. Now these are some benefits you all know about it, that when a person is vaccinated with influenza vaccine, there are less chances of developing. If the person develops, then the severity will be less, then complications will be less, transmission will be less, and the most important part is that we are worried about the pneumonia and influenza, because we have seen the havoc with the pneumonia last in 5-6 years. So that is minimized with the use of the vaccine. So it should be encouraged in the particularly in healthcare personnel and high risk population. Now just to discuss the dosage schedule for children 6 months to 8 years, that's for 6 months to 35 months, the dose is half of the adult, 0.25 milliliter, and above 3 years it is 0.5 milliliter. But if the children is vaccinated for first time, then preferably a second dose should be given after a week, gap of 4 weeks, in cases of children. But in cases of adults, the second dose is not required. So this is the schedule which is universally accepted for influenza vaccination. Now when the vaccine should be given? So recently the Indian Pediatrics published an article in 2013, and they have observed that though the influenza is present throughout the year, but there is increase in the influenza during the rainy season. And in our country, except Tamil Nadu area, the rainy season is from June to August. But for Tamil Nadu and the surrounding areas, the rainy season is from October to December. So what they say that at least 1 month prior to the rainy season, the vaccination should be given. So just to summarize the vaccines, this vaccine will prevent the flu if it is given every year. The antibodies usually develops after 2 weeks. So it is not that once a person has developed influenza and then you vaccinate, he is not going to be benefited. So if you want to give him benefit, it has to be at least 2 weeks prior to the season. So it takes 2 weeks. And another important part is that the antibody levels, they are maintained up to the 6 months to 1 year only. So every year you have to repeat the vaccination. That is the important point, and that's why influenza vaccine is to be given every year to maintain the immunity level. And every year the WHO suggests different strains as per the circulating virus in the global scenario. So the strains are changing. For example, in whatever strain we are using in 2015, it is different from the strains which were used in 2014. So every year we have to use the different vaccines. And then it is providing no protection against the non-influenza viruses. So it is only giving protection for the influenza disease. Safety, as you all know, these are quite safe, except there are few reactions in the body, like other vaccines, headache, nasal congestion, sometimes low-grade fever and sore throat. That can be there, but it is quite minimal and they are not persistent, so they are relatively quite safe. But there are few precautions which are to be observed for influenza vaccine, that during active disease or when the person is having mild to moderate disease with fever, at that time it should not be given. And secondly, if there is history of LGD syndrome with previous vaccination, after the 6 months, within the period of 6 months of the vaccination, then one should be very cautious in giving the repeat vaccination. So these are the, and then if a person is known to be allergic to any of the contents, particularly egg allergy persons, they should be given with the cautions, and the vaccine should be given in an institutional setting. Don't just you cannot give vaccines to such persons without any resuscitative measures are available to them. And these are the various vaccines which are at present available in Indian market: Vaxzevria, Influvac, Juviflu. This Mesovac is the live attenuated vaccine which is present available in the form of nasal spray. Now this last vaccine I have come to know from the Kadula people that though it is not in the market, but they are going to launch this Flu S vaccine very shortly, which is based on the VLP technology. So I hope when this vaccine comes, it will be further addition to the armamentarium in the influenza vaccines. Thank you very much.